Hi, my name is jamcowl and I have over 100 zero kill wins in Warzone across every map and game mode. If you watch my videos, you already know this challenge is difficult but also very fun to pull off. And today I'm going to explain everything I know about zero kill wins, including what loadouts to use, how to hide in plain sight, and how to prepare for the all-important endgame gas play. Then we'll finish off with some example games where I explain my strategy for each of the 3 maps, Fortune's Keep, Rebirth and Caldera. Everything is timestamped, so look down below if you want to skip to a particular section. Let's get started. First, I want to take a moment to justify why you should attempt this challenge at all. Why should you try to get a win without fighting back? Well, Warzone is a game of luck as well as skill, and the skill component of the game doesn't end with simply having better aim than your enemy. Positioning, movement and planning are all key factors in pursuing the win, but skilled players who are used to outgunning their enemies could end up using their gun skill as a crutch to get out of bad situations and make up for poor decision making. It's much harder to survive a gunfight if the enemy doesn't die in under a second because you killed him. You may have to evade and outplay an enemy for multiple minutes in order to get away. If you master the art of surviving without fighting, once you go back to playing normally, you'll be unkillable. In a way, going for a zero kill win is a lot like training with weighted clothes, which makes you even stronger and faster when the weights are removed. If you think that's worth your time, then I'll start with loadouts. The most important part of a zero kill loadout is the shield. This is what helps you hide, it helps you face down an enemy defensively, and when running away, it can even protect your back. Any shield will work, but there are some minor ways you can optimize for camouflage. Modern maps like Verdansk and Rebirth are full of filing cabinets and factory equipment, essentially grey boxes. For this reason, I recommend the default Modern Warfare Riot shield for these maps, as it's more rectangular. Conversely, Fortune's Keep and Caldera are more old-fashioned, and the Vanguard combat shield blends in better as a barrel or something round. In terms of camos, you want to avoid anything bright and colourful, nothing that will contrast too strongly with the background. I think the default camo in the Modern Warfare Riot shield can't be beat. Even Obsidian is a bit too glossy and may draw more attention than the dull grey-green default camo. On the Vanguard combat shield, the default flat green is the best for Caldera, as you may be forced to hide in bushes out in open green spaces, but I'm also a fan of how the buggy lighting of the titanium chrome camo essentially replicates the colour of the surrounding textures, creating a sort of chameleon-like active camouflage effect, as long as you stay away from bright lights which would be reflected off the shiny surface. Now let's talk about perks. These are my preferred 3 perks right here. The most important thing is having restock so you can keep your stims topped up at all times. My second choice here would be Ghost, which is why I have a second loadout in case I loot restock off the ground. I can grab my second Ghost loadout and have both perks. For the first perk, I prioritize Serpentine because when combined with stims and a shield on your back, it can really help you run away without getting downed. My second choice here would be Cold-Blooded because it prevents enemies with high alert from alerting when they walk past your crosshairs. So on the off chance I find Serpentine while looting, I'll grab a Cold-Blooded loadout instead. Finally, for perk 3 I choose Amped. A lot of stealth players use Battle Hardened here to hide from snapshot grenades, but I personally find Amped extremely important for quickly swapping to my shield when I'm spotted and need to run away. It reduces the time it takes to put my shield on my back to protect me while I run, or bring it in front of me when I run into an enemy. Amped often saves my life, though Battle Hardened would be my second choice here. For my secondary weapon, I like to use the Sawtooth even though it's not the fastest melee weapon. The advantage it has over faster options like the Cali Sticks or Ballistic Knife is that there's no right-click left-handed attack when you ADS with it, so you can silently ADS walk or peek a door without accidentally bashing the door open when you try to ADS, so it has a stealth advantage. However, you can also ADS walk with a pistol, so the absolute overall best secondary weapon I think is the Rat with this build. These are the fastest movement attachments you can put on the Rat, and I also put subsonic ammunition on there to stay off the mini-map, and this allows you to run around the map very fast and also ADS walk even faster than the Sawtooth. If you don't have the Rat leveled up, you can get almost as fast with this 1911 build. You almost certainly have the 1911 leveled up because it's the starter pistol. You need the short barrel and the same attachments as the Rat and subsonic ammunition, and you'll be able to ADS walk exactly as fast as you can with the Rat. It's just that the tactical sprint and the sprint speed is a little bit slower than the Rat. So the Rat is definitely the first choice, but if you don't have it leveled up, then the 1911 is a good second choice. Hiding in plain sight is one of the funniest parts of a successful zero kill game. Even the sweatiest players look like bots when they don't notice you're sitting there. In my experience, the sweatiest, slide-cancelling, stim-popping enemies are far less likely to notice me when they sprint through a room quickly than a bot who chooses to camp in the same building as me and pull out his heartbeat sensor. Most players search for enemies by a simple algorithm. If I'm not being shot in this room, there's no one here. They run through rooms baiting shots, and if you don't shoot them and instead stay still, they assume they're alone. The best way to become invisible in Warzone is to find an elevated hiding spot in the corner of a room and hold your shield in front of you. Even enemies who are expecting to see a riot shield will be expecting to see you crouched at ground level, so if you can subvert that expectation, they're less likely to spot you. After finding a good hiding spot, the important thing is not to move. Even enemies with heartbeat sensors, who should know exactly where you are, will often assume you're on a different level even while staring you in the face. It's important not to underestimate the blindness of your enemy. Don't move until you know they've seen you and started shooting you. If you've been spotted, try to escape to the left while swapping your shield to your back, because your shield is held in your right hand and moves around the right side onto your back, so if you time it right, your shield will always be protecting you. When going for a 0 kill win, most of your match is going to be spent prepping for the endgame. That primarily means acquiring resources to fill out your HUD with everything you need. That includes gas masks, self-revive, full armor, stims in your loadout, field upgrade, either a munitions box or a PDS, and finally just having as much money as possible. If I find a kill streak, I'll usually pick it up just so it can't be used against me. If you're running low on resources and only have a couple $1,000s, wait for the fire sale. You'll be able to get everything you need at a huge discount. If you can grab a free loadout, you only need $2,300 to be fully set up with gas mask, self-revive and a munition box from the fire sale. If you have any leftover money and can make it to a buy station near the center of the safe zone, you might consider spending everything on a large stack of discounted munition boxes. Just bear in mind that untouched munis you buy in the fire sale will despawn 2 minutes and 30 seconds after they were last touched. Since the fire sale ends 6 minutes before the final circle closes in Resurgence, you'll have to cycle your munis at least twice in the latter part of the match to keep them alive long enough to use them in the gas. One question I hear a lot is, what's better, munition box or PDS? Well, it depends. A single stim can add up to 17 seconds onto your life if you time it perfectly and heal when you're 1 HP. So a munitions box can potentially offer 34 extra seconds of life in the gas if you use both stims perfectly. For reference, a gas mask lasts about 10 seconds from when you first enter the gas. However, the longer you stay in gas, the harder the gas damages you. When you first enter the gas, each damage tick will take away 13 HP per hit, but after the first minute, that doubles to 26, and it keeps going up the longer you're in the gas. That means that the effectiveness of stims to keep you alive goes down over time. The same is true of gas masks. They break faster when you're in the gas longer, so buying gas masks in the gas also has diminishing returns. On the other hand, a PDS will create a protective bubble for 13 seconds every time, no matter how long you've been in the gas for. So eventually the utility of a munitions box diminishes below that of a PDS, and the PDS becomes the most useful. What I like to do when I find a PDS is hold on to it until I buy a stack of munis near the end zones. Then I carry a munitions box. Munis are more portable as you can pop them and keep moving while stimming, making them more useful for long gas rotations. I return to my muni stack in the gas and save the PDS until the end when stims are struggling to keep up with the gas damage, and the PDS is my last option for staying alive. The best thing you can do to make surviving in the gas easier is to stay in the safe zone longer. You want to leave the safe zone as late as possible so that the increased gas damage is less of a problem for you. Some people think that going further into the gas is what increases the gas damage, but this simply isn't true. The only thing that matters is the amount of time you've been outside the safe zone. If you have to make a gas play early, you should try to run back and touch the safe zone at least for a second to reset your time in gas back to the start, so you're not at a massive disadvantage to other players who've been in the safe zone the whole time. By the way, that means the actual safe zone marked on the map. Gas masks and PDS don't count as a safe zone and don't stop the gas damage from continuing to increase. The only way to prevent it is stepping into the actual safe zone circle marked on your map. If one of the late game shifting circles would push you out into the open, bear in mind that with 2 stims you can easily skip that circle and go straight to the next one. You may burn your gas mask, but the important thing is that your 2 stims will restock and you'll still have a munitions box in reserve. Once the safe zone comes back to you, your time in gas will be reset and everything will be fine again. The ability to skip a circle and go straight to the following one without going out in the open is why Foresight is so powerful. On the topic of Foresight, let's talk about reading the circles. When you look at the end zone, you'll typically see something that looks like this. You have 4 circles near the middle, and it might not be clear which one comes first. You can actually tell the order based on the different sizes. There are 2 circles that are the same size. Those are the first 2, when the circle starts to shift sideways. Then it contracts to the smallest circle, and the final circle is a little larger than that, but still smaller than the first 2. It might be easiest to work backwards. Once you've identified the final circle, -1 is smaller, -2 is bigger, then -3 is the same size, and that's the circle you should wait in while the circle still collapses. It might seem a bit complicated right now, but once you get used to it, I promise it gets very easy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to watch through the entire match and I'm going to comment on what I'm doing in retrospect to explain all my strategy at each point. We'll start with what is definitely the easiest map to get a 0 kill win on, which is Fortune's Keep, because we have black market contracts which give you Foresight. With Foresight, it's much easier to get a 0 kill win. So the first thing we're doing is we're looking at the map as we fly in, and we're picking between the black market contracts. We need to just land on one and get one straight away, because Foresight is our priority. And I end up picking this one because it's right next to a redeploy balloon, so I can grab this contract and I can quickly rotate out of the area and fly across the map and grab the contract before anyone even has decent guns to shoot me with. So I'm going into this building just to loot a little bit because I need $4,000 in addition to the contract, but then I run into a person. So I'm just trying to jump out the window, just break line of sight and get away from this guy. Now I'm getting my redeploy balloon, and this is the whole reason I came here, because I can just leave the area whenever I want and I can just fly straight to the contract, which is over here. So now you're getting closer to the contract. You can actually hear it here. The problem is that I only looted $2,000, so in addition to the $6,000 the contract pays, I've only got $8,000. So right now I'm rushing to try and find $2,000 so that I can buy Foresight before the buy station despawns. Now I managed to find $10,000, and I also found a riot shield back there, so I can buy Foresight and pop it. And now most of our job is done, and we're looking at the map right now. So looking at this map, I can tell at a glance it's going to close on Winery, then move south, south again, then come back north up to the clock tower. So we're just going to hop up here, get in this little corner, and we're inside the church. This is the building it's going to close on, and we're in a nice hidden position. These two guys having a fight, but they don't see me, and it's fine. I just sit here watching them fight each other. Just keeping my eye on this domino to make sure this domino doesn't see me. There's another enemy right here. They're gonna fight, but again they don't see me because I'm in a dark corner. I'm elevated off the ground, and I'm in basically no danger right here because they're never gonna see me. So ultimately I'm gonna have to move into the other end of the building, so I decided to make that rotation now. Just a small rotation to the other end of the room. So ultimately I decided to move over here because it's a bit more central and it's a bit still nice and hidden. I grabbed that big game bounty just to give me a free UAV on someone else, and it's a bounty contract that can't be used against me by someone else. So now the circle is closed on the circle I'm in, I need to start making my rotation towards the next one, which I know where it's going to be. So I'll put down a radar jammer, which is annoying, but I do remember where the circle is, and you can still faintly see that I'm inside the circle. So this next safe zone is out in the open on this road, and I do not want to go there at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to creep in as long as possible. I'm going to try to stay in the safe zone as long as possible, but I'm not going to actually pursue the safe zone once the gas covers me. I'm just going to tank this circle, and you can see what resources it takes to skip one circle, because this one in the open is really not very pleasant for hiding. But I can go ahead and I can tell that the clock tower is inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb straight up into the clock tower before the gas even has covered it. There we go. All I've used at this point is one gas mask and one stim. I still have a spare stim going. So I'm going to put my face in the corner here, wait for the safe zone to come to me. Use my second stim, and now we have the safe zone coming to us, and we're perfectly safe. Now we've touched the safe zone again, so the gas damage has been reset back to normal. And we're about to restock one of our stims, and this is fine. So now we can tell the enemy is down below at ground level in the open. I popped down this muni, but then I realized that the restock is about to give me a stim, so I actually wait a little while so I can restock my stim before I hit the muni. Get it at just the last minute. Now we hit the munitions box. And thinking about it now, this was a slightly risky position because if the enemy down below hears me coughing, he could throw a grenade up top and it would blow up the munitions box and kill me. But I do have self-revive, so even if I did get downed, there we go. And there's the, that's a textbook win. Nothing dramatic or difficult about it, just pretty easy. Next, we're going to show a textbook Rebirth game. This is pretty much what I do every match when I'm trying to go for a win in Rebirth Island. So when I'm first dropping in, what I look for on the map is one of these two ships on either side. Whichever one has a weapon swap station is the one I want to go to. On Rebirth, the easiest way I've found to amass the resources you need for a 0-kill win is just to loot up guns and swap them at these weapon swap stations. So what I'm doing now is I'm just grabbing whichever guns have the most attachments, judging by the little title cards that pop up, and I'm taking them to a weapon swap station. And okay, the first one is giving me an armor satchel. So that's very easy right there, and the next one gives me a gas mask and an armor satchel. So right, already I'm doing quite well. Now I'm just running around grabbing money, because the only thing I really need at this point is to wait for my free loadout and find some money. I'm going to use this balloon to head up to Decon Zone, because right now Decon Zone looks quite central. As you can see, this is very close to the center of the zone. I wouldn't have to move from here for quite a while probably, and so this is where I've chosen to wait for the free loadout drop.
Watch the skies. Loadout drop inbound.
So there's the free loadout. It's actually on the roof of this building, which is not a great place for me because it's very open and exposed from multiple angles. So I need to find my way onto the roof.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone. Occupation scan.
There's a sniper over there right on the loadout. So I decide I'm just going to wait a while. I'm going to circle back and come for that loadout later on.
Scan ended. Return to standard operating procedures.
I can hear a footstep here. These guys having a fight. But he doesn't see me. He assumes that because his fight is over, no one's shooting at him anymore, there must be no one left. And now he's gone. So now I'll just wait a while, and you know, our loadout is safe for quite a few circles. We don't have to rush over there, we can take our time. So we do have a guy who's below me, but that means that the loadout is clear.
Enemy dropping into the AO. He's out of fuel.
We just got unlucky with someone dropping on us right then. But right here in the corner, these two corners of this building it's the absolute hardest to be spotted here. This is a really dark corner in a pile of boxes. I've literally never been spotted here, I think. Almost like it's very hard. Look, there's a guy here, got no idea I'm here. I just look like part of the pile of boxes in a dark corner with a dark grey box using the Modern Warfare riot shield. This guy's having a fight with someone up top. I haven't put on my armor yet because that would make a noise and give away my location. But when I do eventually put on armor, I will face the wall so that the shield on my back still protects me from the room and keeps me hidden. So now that that guy's run away, I'm taking the chance to face the wall and replate, putting the shield on my back, and now I'm turning back the way I came, keeping the shield facing the room at all times. So now looking at the circle, there's pretty much only one buy station which is close to the middle, and I want to go there to buy a stack of munis. There's this super useful tunnel right here which I can use to go underneath everyone. Very few people hang out down here, so it's very safe.
Watch your six.
And what I'm trying to do is just get to the buy station and get a couple munis before the fire sale ends.
Firesales done.
And I actually managed to just get one discounted muni and one full price muni. Now I am settling into my hiding spot. I have left one munitions box and one PDS on that buy station, and I'm keeping the munitions box on me right now because munitions boxes are more useful for making gas plays and gas rotations, because you just throw it down, grab 2 stims and keep moving, whereas with the PDS you have to stay in one spot for a while. It's not really great for mobile gas plays, unless you put it on a vehicle, I suppose. So now the circle's about to close, and I have to move a little bit. I'm going to try and just get in the next room next door to me. Get back up here where I was earlier. And this is a nice hiding spot again, right in the middle. So now the gas is closing, we'll get to see where the circle moves next. And because it's pulled over to decon zone, I'm going to go through the tunnel that I used before. Now actually, right here, you can see there are some footsteps visible on the ground because I found tracker on the ground. But I didn't actually notice this at the time. So I get surprised by this enemy behind me and I have to run straight ahead. If I didn't get shot here, I would have moved slowly with the zone, because the zone would gradually move with the tunnel, and I'd be able to probably just move through the tunnel while staying in the safe zone the whole time. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find a little elevated corner, something to sit on top of, so that I can stay hidden in the safe zone when the gas gets to me. Again, I'm facing the wall while I plate to keep the shield on my back facing the room.
Gas is closing in.
The circle is pulling forward and there's actually no safe spot in the room. So at this point I'm deciding I'm going to try and stay in the safe zone as long as possible, but I'm not going to leave the building. I'm going to tank gas for a little bit and see where it pulls to. I just heard someone slam a door from the tunnel. This is that guy who shot me earlier, I think. He hears me coughing, but he doesn't see me. And I'm just hoping the circle pulls back. Luckily it does. And I'm just trying not to move at all, so that these guys don't see me. So I'll let these two guys worry about each other. It's no skin off my nose. Now it's 1v1, but this guy has no idea I'm here. I just need to inch into the circle a little bit so that the gas doesn't touch me. And now that the final circle started to close, I know I can outlive pretty much anyone with 2 stims and a muni. And even if the last enemy happens to have like a gas mask, 2 stims and 1 muni, if I run back to my stash, I can outlast even that guy. Unless that guy gets lucky finding stims on the ground or an extra gas mask or something, there's no way he's going to outlast me with this stash. So I've already put down my muni just for preemptively, and I can actually wait for my stim to restock before I hit this one. That's what I'm doing right now. We're waiting. I'm going to stim as soon as it restocks. There we go. Hit the muni. And we're just, at this point, waiting. We're waiting for the last guy to die. We're saving the PDS for last because PDS is most useful when the gas damage gets bad. So I slightly mistimed that stim, but it's okay because once I res, I can put in another stim and go back to full health. Putting this muni box down just preemptively. I'm going to start stimming a little bit early since I've wasted my self-revive. I don't have a second chance if I mistime it, so I'm just playing it safe. I'm stimming early. And the game's over. The guy's dead. Pretty textbook, easy peasy Rebirth solos win. So now we're looking at Caldera, which is definitely the hardest 0-kill win to pull off because the map is so big, the rotations are so wide open, but it is possible. So the strategy here is I'm going all the way down to Capital because it's very far from the flight path. Miles and miles away, so hopefully I'll be completely alone. I'm just going to loot up enough money to buy the resources I need, and that's all. I'm going to try and play it safe. Right now I'm just drifting across the map. I'm using free look to take a look around me. I'm going to checking the whole sky behind me. I don't see anyone coming in behind me, so it looks like we got one guy super high up behind me who's peeling off to the left, going to what looks like sub-pen maybe. I've got no one at all coming to this whole section of the map. Looks like I'm completely alone going to Capital, and that is ideal. We're going to skip ahead to grab the contract. Money's the primary objective, is so that we can afford a self-revive and a gas mask and a muni, whatever resources we need. And we're just going to go and grab the free loadout. So for this loadout, I'm using a speedy 1911 build and the Vanguard right shield with the default green camo. I'm just going to continue looting, and I get very lucky here finding the specialist bonus. Then I get very unlucky with this enemy right here, and I'm just going to speed away as fast as possible. I'm trying not to change direction, I'm just keeping a straight line to keep the shield pointed towards where I think the enemy still is. Just looting some more, get more money. Money's always good. I heard someone through a snapshot, and I'm getting shot from the right, so I have to turn left to keep the shield on my back pointed towards where that enemy is. I'm going to try and veer left. I keep getting high alerted on the right, and here's the enemy. He tries to thermite me, but he misses. That's just good luck on my part. And then bad luck is he happens to have a launcher, which is the worst thing. Luckily he misses this SUV, and I can drive away. What I want to do here is ditch the car, because everyone can see where I am when I'm driving the car, and I'm going to use these redeploy balloons instead. And I'm going to head into the circle. Just that's where the middle is, that's the direction I'm going in. I'm going to try and head towards sub-pen. Grab the balloon and we'll fly straight over in the direction towards the center. So now that I'm near the buy station, I pick a dark corner. I'm just pinging this buy station so that I can see it through the wall. I know exactly where I need to go. Pre-break the window using my throwing knife so that it's silent when I want to go through that window later. And now I'm going to experiment with Ghost, because you'll notice when I start moving, my arrowhead becomes semi-transparent, and when I stop moving it becomes opaque. And there's a little trick I've figured out right here, which is if I hold backwards and back into the corner, I'm not moving, but I can wave my mouse back and forth, or you could wave your right analog stick to look back and forth, and the game thinks that you're basically constantly backing away left and right, and it keeps Ghost active. So while I'm here, I start testing the Ghost. I start just wiggling back and forth, and it's lucky because a UAV just gets popped, and now I'm just going to wiggle continuously for the next 40 seconds.
Enemy UAV active.
I just keep wiggling, backing into the corner. As long as the arrowhead on my map stays semi-transparent, I know that I'm not showing up on that enemy's UAV. So now the circle's about to close again, and I'm hoping that it pulls down to sub-pen and doesn't drag me up the hill, because that would be a very hard rotation. And I get very lucky, it closes right on me, exactly where I want it to go. It's a very convenient, very lucky circle pull for me. Now the circle's about to close again. I get lucky again, it closes right on me. And now for a third stroke of extremely good luck, the circle closes right on me again. So now with the next circle pull, I have to move to the other end of the building, which is not too bad. It could be a lot worse. I don't have to go outside. And at first I choose this corner of the building because it's the closest to the center of the circle. But then I realize that this crate next to me is drawing a lot of attention to my corner, and I decide to switch corners to this one instead. And I'm just deliberately leaving these crates unlooted because it gives the feeling that this room is completely unoccupied. So when this enemy just walks in right now, he has no idea I'm here, because if there were an enemy here, they would open the crates probably. But because he's in the room now, he's now my primary concern. I'm trying to keep my eye on him and watch out for him spotting me. He now is looking directly at me, so maybe he's spotted me. He takes a shot, But I'm not actually sure if he's spotted me because he continues looting. Because maybe he didn't get a hit marker because he hit my shield. Now he definitely sees me, but lucky for me he gets third-partied out the door. So he throws this snapshot grenade and I'm thinking he's definitely going to spot me, but then he dies, so that's very lucky. So now there are 5 enemies left and I'm very concerned about where the circle is going to shift to, because I'm definitely going to have to leave this building.
Gas is closing in. Relocate.
So I decide that I'm going to move to this building instead. I'm going to rotate wide left through the gas. I'm going to try not to break that glass. I'm going to try not to touch the gas before I have to. Because if I can keep my gas mask intact, then no one will hear me cough. I'm going to go in the back door here, rather than breaking glass and giving away my location with audio. And I managed to just barely escape coughing and taking any gas damage whatsoever.
You got gas inbound. Safe zone.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to rotate back the way I came.
Gas is inbound.
So at this point I'm going to stop commentating and switch back to the live narration which I recorded at the time, so you can hear what I'm thinking as I play, and you can just sit back and enjoy the endgame. Should be able to afford 2 more gas masks because I have hardline. 4 enemies left. Oh shit. Oh man, I'm so screwed.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone. Gas is right on your tail.
Cali Stick's gonna kill me. The shield actually saved me, man. He was trying to Cali Stick my back. Okay, some guys pre-air striking my building, but I don't have to go in the safe zone. This is the last circle. I'm just gonna start my gas play right now. 1 more gas mask. Should be able to afford a second one, and with the 2 stims and a muni, we should be able to still outlast everyone. Alright, time to peace out.
No llego.
Doop-de-doo. Just go far away so they can't find me.
¿Cómo podemos haber 3 personas? ¿Y el otro?
Pop down the muni. Still only ticking 13 HP each time, but should double up to 26 any second now. There we go, 26 HP. Okay.
¿Eh?
Come on, man, die already. This is it. I've got no more stims, man. Just keep looking, see what I can find. Sweet. GG's.
¿Dónde está el que ganó el otro?
Yo no me apunté para esto.
¿Dónde está el otro, men?
GG's, everyone. GG's.
Jamcowl, I watch you all the time, mate. I was number 2.
Oh, sweet. I'm I'm sorry, bro. I almost died. I was down to my last stim. I was like 5 HP. If you lasted 1 second, I was gonna... Oh right, you were the ghost face with the Cali sticks.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. You almost got me. Like I was terrified. I was running for my life, man.
Oh, I was terrified. GG's, mate.
GG's, man.
Game.
Yeah, thanks. GG's.
Good luck. Watch you all the time.
Thanks, man. That's good to hear. Thank you.